Yeah, in any way, just now we discussed with Pak Doni about conflict, and he said that by faith, he's always trapped into conflict. Yeah, so he cannot avoid conflict. So good morning, everyone.
Morning.
So it's glad to see you again. This is not an easy topic. It should be programmed in 2 or 3 days. Because we need to do a role play, but I think because of the limitation of time, we just share something. Yeah, and first, what is your opinion about conflict, Ibu Ita? Yes. We were together in the School of Medicine, and we never had a conflict with Ibu Ita. Yes. Oh, yeah.
It's crossed in my mind when we are talking about conflict. So most of the time, people will think about two things. I mean, face it or leave it.
Oh, face it or leave it.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And Ibu Dwi? Yes. Yeah, what is conflict?
Conflict arises because disagreement about something.
Disagreement about something, but you are peer here. Can we have some kind of disagreement?
Yes, of
course. Yeah. Okay. And Ibu? What do you think about conflict? What is conflict?
Yes, I think everyone have different different pandangan gitu lah.
Different pandangan, yes. Okay. And different pandangan leads to?
So maybe someone want to memegangi the principle.
The principle, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Maybe not disagree.
Okay, Pak Rusdi?
I think I just want to see about why does it arise. I think related to what Earl said yesterday, that it's because something is not aligned. So
something is not aligned.
Yes, whether it's about their idea or anything. So there is an alignment there which result in this clash between those different alignments.
Yes, yes. This is very interesting because conflict is just a kind of everyday fact. And though we are trained together, this is the second phase, and still conflict can be presenting itself among us. And this is the source of conflict. Want different things, thinking styles, personality, like Pak Doni, and then different status. Some of you may be clinician, like Pak Asmedi. Some of you like Ibu Ita in the laboratory. It can be also the source of conflict, and this is a very tough one, ideological and philosophical, and so on. This is the reason why conflict arise. And if we make a summary, this is because of the goals, personality conflicts, scarce resources, styles and values. But then coming into some practical aspect, do you think to develop a joint proposal can be a source of conflict as well? Yeah. Ibu Janatin? Yeah, why?
We ourselves, individuals, has, as Bo Bram said, that we have our own principles, and maybe the personality, and also expert. Maybe someone feels or thinks that I'm the expert and my expertise is the most important in this. Maybe, maybe, but sometimes maybe it can just like this. So personality, maybe different personality can lead to the conflicts.
Personality, right? And what about the scarce of resources? Do you think it's also one of our source of conflict?
Yes.
Yes? Oh, Pak Rusdi, please.
We have only a small number of money, so everybody wants it.
Small number of money? No, Pak Alan have more. Don't worry. Okay. And then what about styles? Welcome Pak Bayu. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, styles. What is your working style, Ibu Sri? Working style.
I think I'm a moderate one. I mean,
Modern one?
Yeah, I mean-
What do you mean with modern one?
I don't
You don't
think
work but get the result?
No, I don't think the style is connected to the style of our working, but sometimes the style that can stimulate the conflict is about the communication, how we communicate.
Yeah. Okay.
So my opinion is more than communication.
But again, what about your working style? Are you really working, or you?
I can be individual
work,
and
rest,
No.
work, rest, work.
it depends on
Rest, never work.
depend on the pressure and the deadline.
Oh, yes. I think we are all the same, huh? Yeah. Deadliners, huh? Yeah. What about you, Pak Bayu? What about your working style?
It's a it's bit funny. I've ever learned a bit about like the color of our personality, and that includes like the style of our personality as well.
Yeah.
So in general, we are all divided into four
color.
personality color:
Red.
yellow,
Yeah.
red, blue, and green.
Green, yeah.
So in those color that determine, for example, if outgoing and cheerful and something like that,
Yes.
it's yellow.
Yeah.
And then business like and very strict, very outcome oriented, that's red. And then very detailed, everything like least
Yeah.
person, that's blue. So in the personality color, it's a circle, and then we really cannot, I mean, it's really hard to work with the opposite colors. For example, yellow, it's really hard to work with
Red.
blue,
Blue,
with
yeah.
blue color. So in some way we have to have like a little bit of red, and the blue one have to have a little bit of red as well. So that may also stimulate conflict. If the blue one, so for example, if Pak Andre is really a blue color, true blue, and I'm true yellow,
Yeah.
he'll be very stressed to work with me.
Okay.
You have to do this.
Yeah.
I'll do
Okay.
that later, something like that.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think it's interesting.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Pak Bayu. Then I think this is very important, Pak Yodi. So we should assess them, according to the color, and we change their group, I think, if they are. Okay.
One of the strongest values you must have in any interaction with people is honesty,
Yeah.
or at least giving the right amount of information all the time. Because some people might hold back in terms of giving information,
Yeah.
and that in a sense is a dishonesty. And when you detect a dishonesty, then you can have conflict arise very, very quickly, because there's a lack of trust. So trusting and honesty is a very important set of values that must be agreed between everybody who are interacting. Otherwise, conflict will arise. That's my experience in life, I think.
Okay, so thank you, Alan. So about values, this is also very important in the research, because our work will be published, and we need to have a good data. They try to sneak around to get the data, and it will be a source of conflict. Okay, thank you, Alan. Anyone want to add about values? Yes, sometimes, really. Conflict is consume energy. Huh?
But sometimes with conflict we can open our mind to
Okay.
other way of thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, to open our mind. Yeah. Pak Asmedi, do we need conflict? You don't like conflict, yes?
If conflict is happened, then we have to solve that.
Okay, so we need conflict, yeah, because we learn how to solve problem. Welcome, Pak Wahyudi. Yeah. Conflict is process.
Process. So
Yes.
we mean it's a very thing is it is good for us.
Okay. So everybody mentioned that conflict is good. Why? We can see the positive side of conflict. It can teach you how to resolve situation. We can also have a kind of opportunity to transform the situation into something better. Yes, but then in the other hand, wow, this is the negative side of conflict. It can interfere the team performance. Ibu Ita, do you still remember your team member, your group?
Yeah, of course. Pak Wahyudi.
Pak Wahyudi only, only one.
We are having Aris and Titi and Mbak Mira.
Ibu Mira.
Yeah.
Yes. And according to your experience during this session, last session, do you see the possibility to have a conflict with them, even with Pak Wahyudi?
I think conflicts of time. I think maybe I will have more opportunity to have conflict with you.
With me?
Because we have been known for so long time.
Yes.
So when you are just having interaction for quite short time, then you will trying to show your best.
Okay.
You will be very calm and trying to negotiate nicely.
Yeah.
Jaim.
Yeah, jaim. And afterwards, in the long run,
yes, we will find that. But I think it becomes more interesting because, as Maya said, conflict will, in positive way, will give us, will gain us more.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so we agree with this, the positive side, but we also have to remember about the negative side of conflict.
Discussion is something, or is
yes.
also a conflict, or is just some kind of disagreement which is not necessarily a conflict?
Yeah, later on we can see. Later on we can see, but this is just to show you that a conflict sometimes consume your energy. So we need to manage the conflict. And how to handle the conflict. We can see the level afterwards. And we have, before that, we should identify first, there are two types of conflict. First is cognitive conflict, and second is affective conflict. So we have cognitive conflict and affective conflict. What is affective conflict? This is conflict really in personal conflict, and this is very destructive, personal one. And the cognitive is just a disagreement about ideas and approaches, as you mentioned. Discussing is very important. This is not really conflict. And then this is focused on issue rather than in personal things. Like Ibu Ita mentioned, and she will have a conflict with me. I think this is not focused on issue, but personal. Okay. And then characteristic of high-performing groups. This is very relevant to all of you, because all of you are the member of high-performing groups. You have set the standard that we need to develop our proposal in a very systematic way, right? And I think this is very important to understand that we are in a situation that conflict is just around us, okay? And how can we keep conflict cognitive? We have the steps. We will discuss about that. And this is the style to handle conflict. There are 5 types of person, like Pak Bayu mentioned. Color. This is, we have two variables, assertiveness and cooperation. And we have, we can identify ourselves. Where are we actually? And this is the description. Accommodating one is giving in during the conflict and acknowledge that they made a mistake. It was no big deal, it's okay. And then put relationship first, ignore the issue, and try to keep peace. To keep peace. This is the accommodating one. Here it is. And then second one is avoiding. Avoiding means that low assertiveness and low cooperation. We try to avoid conflict, and this is not good for long-term strategy because everybody keeps silent. No one talking about the important issue. And collaborating is to put us in a very ideal situation. We have a high assertiveness and also we can do good cooperation. Collaborating, and last one is competing. This is collaborating. Seek a win-win outcome. We really need to have a win-win outcome. And competing one, win-lose approach. Win-lose approach. Yes. Okay, so this is the concept. Oh, and the last one is compromising. This is a very moderate one, very ideal. And we try to find a fast but partially solution. So we sacrifice some of our interest. Okay, and which one is yours? So let's identify. Pak Doni. Which one is your style? Avoiding? Okay, sometimes it depends with whom you are conflicting, right? I know the name. Okay. Accommodating some other time. So this is the dominance, huh? Okay. Good. So you're less assertive but more cooperative. Yes?
For someone must have dominant.
Yeah. As Pak Bayu mentioned, there's no single styles, right? But then we can see the tendency. But sometimes also the staff, they can challenge the boss as well, right? Yeah, sometimes, but not resident, of course, I know. Resident is just welcome. Cassette, yes. Resident Alan, you know, yes. It's very contextual, Pak, yeah. And Ibu?
Accommodating as well.
Avoiding and accommodating as well. Okay. Yes, Ibu Dia?
Yeah, I think for me it's also the same. Sometimes I avoiding and sometimes accommodating.
Okay. And no one mentioned about competing and collaborating. Maybe Buita.
Should I mention about competing?
No, it's because we were conflicting already. Yes.
I think I'm really agree with Pak Rusdi because it depends on the situation.
On to whom, yes.
But
say you are conflicting with somebody who is more powerful than you.
Yes.
So which one?
Depends. If this is Prof. Jas, of course, avoiding.
This is Professor Jaswadi and avoiding. But he also avoiding you.
Yeah. I think I will be more accommodating.
Okay.
So
okay. With Prof. Jas, yes, avoiding. But with Pak Wahyudi?
I collaborating.
Yes, good. Good, Pak. Yeah. And Ibu Di? Avoiding?
Yeah.
Oh, Pak Yodi, we have a great teams over here. No conflict, yeah? Avoiding and maybe two? Accommodating. Bu Sri?
I think same, avoiding.
Same.
Yeah, so I try to ignore whether there is a problem, especially for people who probably in the future I will get contact more with her or with him. So I try to avoid. But for some conflict that I can face with my best friend, probably collaborating or accommodating.
Collaborating. Yeah, but we can see what is avoiding actually. Avoiding is people who avoid conflict are generally unassertive and uncooperative.
I admit myself that I'm a unassertive person.
And yeah, yeah. Avoiding means
I think
we try to
in assertive. Being person an assertive one. Sometimes when we feel anger with someone that we have conflict, sometimes we just feel that just depress or suppress our feelings, and then we cannot, talk with her or with him assertively. That we feel disappointed with him, so I try to suppress my feelings.
Okay, try to suppress your feeling, not to be baper, bawa perasaan. Okay, like Pak Doni, Pak Doni baper, always baper. Yeah. And Bu Tia, Ayu Mira Oktarina. I know the meaning of her name. Yeah.
Thank you. As long as I can still avoid, I would.
Avoid.
I would rather avoid. But if I'm forced to face those people, then I'm trying to collaborate peacefully.
Yes. Okay.
Peacefully.
Peacefully means to avoid, right? Yes. So Alan, I think this is a cultural related to the behavior. Yeah. What about you? Yeah, because up to that rule, we have avoiding.
Really interesting because I thinking through, you've captured it for me, the cultural difference here. I'm really struck by the number of people who've put themselves in the avoiding, accommodating space. My style would be collaborating and compromising.
And compromising.
Yeah, those two squares there. But I have to say that has changed over my life.
Yeah.
When I was very much younger, and depending on the situation that I found myself in, particularly if I was a young student operating with a professor and doing research in the professor's laboratory, it would be very much accommodating, avoiding.
Yeah.
Because to challenge the professor, who was a very strong personality, who would be a competing personality on this scale here, I would try to be assertive, but quite often I would lose in my assertion. So that forced me down into the avoiding square more often than I really wanted to because of the circumstances that I was in. At a junior level you might be more avoiding and accommodating, but on thinking that through, what happened through my career was that every so often I would be more assertive. I would try to be more assertive with different people. And as I was being more assertive with different people, I worked out what was my personality and what was the best approach that I could take to particular issues. And over quite a number of years, developed a confidence in my own ability. And when I moved to a different situation, I was surprised once when I was shown a greater level of respect for my opinion than I'd ever experienced before. So suddenly I became more assertive because I was in a more facilitating environment to be able to put my views forward and have them listened to, because I was working with people who were not competing, they were collaborative.
Yes.
So as I moved, I could move around this diagram depending on my own self-confidence as well as the environment that I was operating in. And I gradually worked out what to do, and I ended up in collaborating and compromising.
Yeah. Okay, Alan, thank you. And Pak Bayu? And what is
maybe collaborating.
Collaborating. Okay, good. And Ibu Pram? Collaborating. Okay. Pak Rusdi?
Yeah, okay. So it depends on who you are working with, really.
Yeah.
So if somebody is more competing, I usually try to be competing also. But if the situation is more accommodative, like what the group we have right now, then I try to be more accommodative, I think.
Yes. Pak Asmedi?
I think it's depend on the situation
Yeah.
that I face. Sometimes avoiding, sometimes accommodating or compromising is depend.
Okay.
I don't know
Yeah.
what kind of.
Yeah. Okay. So we will try to make some practical things after this. Pak Ari, selamat datang.
Yeah.
Welcome.
I do apologize for coming late. Sorry, I missed some points. But I agree with Dr. Asmedi what you just said, that I think it depends on the conflicts.
Yeah.
I think if the conflict is something that we cannot really tolerate the thing, then maybe I can just avoid. But if I still can collaborate, then I will collaborate. If I still can accommodate,
Yeah,
then
you
I
will
will accommodate. So it depends on the conflict.
Yes.
And how many times they make the conflict with me. So I have a track record of. Thank you.
You talk about win-win and win-lose. Yeah.
Win-win and win-lose, yeah.
But in
Win is collaborating,
yeah,
and win-lose is competing.
and then what about accommodating and avoid and lose-lose or lose-win?
Avoiding and accommodating. Yeah.
Yeah, lose-lose.
Yeah, this one is lose-lose, of course.
And then accommodating, lose-win.
Lose-win. But
It's same. It's competing.
okay. But then we should remember that we have two types of conflicts, right? Two types of conflict. What we are talking here is about this one. All of us, if we are conflicting in personal issues, of course we will do this, avoiding and accommodating. But then, if we are talking about some technical things with regard to our proposal, for example, then it will take us to another style, right? Okay. So before we should try something. We should try to have some kind of small discussion. I think Pak Rusdi can move a little bit over there and change with Ibu Dia. Ibu Dia? Yeah. So we will discuss about conflict. We will discuss about conflict. Yeah. We will discuss about conflict. There are, in the literatures, they mention that there are three sources of conflict when we develop research. To which journal we submit the paper, because we are multidisciplinary. Ibu Ita, of course, Journal of Fertility will be very interesting, but Pak Rusdi, Journal of Neurophysiology or neuro something, right? And then the last one is about budget allocation. So we will have three groups, three small groups. Please, I think this one is also one group, huh? Okay? Nah. But it's very dominant, huh? There will be no conflict. Yeah. Yes. Gimana? It's okay. You can move to another table. Restaurant? No, not restaurant. We are conflicting already. Yes. The scenario, you develop a proposal, and then the research is, how do you call it, this should be submitted, and then who is the first author in this group?
So we decide the title of the paper.
Yeah. It's up to you. Yeah? Yeah. Ya di grup ini apa risetnya? Iya, ya. Hanya satu. Ya. There are only one paper to publish.
Kalau saya pertama sama paling terakhir. Ya. Karena sastra kan nomor 2 sampai nomor 8 itu bisa dibaca.
Yeah, so we put the scenario that we have the proposals about the pesticide that we have yesterday, and then we see the effect of pesticides to the health. And in an ideal world, all of us agree that we will create 5 papers.
5 papers? There's only one.
For the first, well, let me finish first.
Okay.
So
Yes,
the first paper is about the effect of pesticide to the ocular disease, so that will be his first author, definitely. And then going on for all of us here in fertility will be Ita's first paper, pharmacokinetic will be the first papers, and so on. So in ideal world, we will do that.
Okay.
If we have to follow your scenario, we can only have one title is the effect of pesticides to the health.
Yeah.
Then we will decide based on the one who worked the most. So based on the performance criteria that we will define in the first meeting of our group, then the one who will have the highest score based on the performance criteria will be the first author.
Let me ask a question though.
Yes, Alan. Yeah. So we have the jury here.
Who's going to chair the first meeting? Because the chair of the meeting will have a very influential role to play in determining who's going to win. That's very cultural to
very cultural.
to ask the most senior person to chair the meeting. Yeah.
We can use the mic.
About scenario, I was discussing with the colleague here.
Yeah.
When we are facing the real situation, it will be very different. I think when we have to face the real situation, it will be so much different for this kind of situation.
Yeah. But I think I was very clear to ask you, assume that this is real things.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, we did assume that, but we failed to assume.
We failed.
Okay. And what about this group?
We choose the journal that have bigger scope.
The bigger scope.
Yeah, maybe so that
Journal
can
of
accommodate.
General Medicine, things like that. Journal of anything. Oh, academia. Academia.edu. Yes.
Yeah, and actually we have to decide the criteria of the journal before we collaborate. Yeah.
Yes, that's very technical. That's the decision.
Yeah. So actually we can choose the journal that can accommodate all of us. Yeah.
Is there any?
Yeah. I think yes.
What is this? BK.
Oh, nature maybe?
Nature, yeah. Okay, and then what about the process? Not the outcome, the process. What do you think? Because Ibu Ita has mentioned that if it is in the real setting, then it's not this easy. It's not this easy. And
because the stake is low here, right?
yeah.
So everybody is quite accommodative because it is not the real thing. But when
Yeah.
the stake is much higher,
Yeah.
then like mentioned before, something else probably will come up. But from this, if we always see this situation, if everyone is so collaborative.
Okay. Yes.
Andreas, the other issue here is that these decisions will take a long time as well.
Yes.
And in the development of a collaborative project, in a sense, the 2 workshops that we've run back in September or August and now, you've been asked to respond to something. You as a group have been asked to respond to something. And after 3 or 4 conversations, there'll be a feeling that, yes, a collaborative project could emerge out of this discussion. But one person initiated that, and that will tend to move towards the leadership role for that person, and that will determine partly the discussion about journal authorship, partly the discussion about the budget.
Yeah.
But the decision about which journal will be a different decision, which is more technically based, as you pointed out, Andreas. You'll be looking for a journal which have the highest impact factor, which is multidisciplinary, and which is likely to accept your paper. The next problem comes, of course, when your paper is rejected and you have to find another journal, you go through the whole process again. So that would be, in the real world scenario, that would be the way I would envisage it happening. This is sort of artificial, as you've experienced it here.
Yeah. So I think this is what to learn, because we will face that. So we can experience the source of conflict. Okay, please? No, not to copy their answer. Finish, okay. Mari, Mbak Sri. Yes.
I mean, probably in the first meetings, we can, have a plan that we will produce a great paper. So we have a dream that we can submit it to the great journal.
Yeah.
But in the end, if it depends on the results.
Yeah.
If the paper is not good enough, probably our expectancy will be, more reduced.
Yeah.
And then but we try to collaborate in terms of the scope of the journal and the reputation of the journal itself. I think so.
So to which journal?
The first criteria, the journal should be indexed as corpus.
Yes. Okay, and then which journal?
She said based on the result.
Based?
We have some branch of results. Right?
Yeah.
But in the end, we don't know which one will finally give a good result. So if the one who give good result is in the ocular one, then that will be
Okay. So how do you
more general, then we can try.
how do you review which one is the best? Because Ibu Ita will mention that mine is the best.
I think you are pushing us.
Yeah, sure. That's why I'm here.
So it will be nicely,
Nicely discussed, yeah. In theory, yeah. Yeah.
we'll be end with why don't we just preparing 2 or 3
2 or 3,
manuscript
yes.
to be submitted in.
Even one is really hard, huh?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
But since, of course, if you are in pharmacology, maybe pharmacology can be collaborated with biology, any journal.
Okay.
So no conflict.
Okay.
If you mentioned about.
Can we have the microphone on?
Microphone, yes.
So it's good or not, that should be able to be seen from the proposals, I think.
Yeah. So we plan this, plan this issue since the beginning of the work. Huh? Okay. Good. What about this group?
Student.
Welcome, resident, Kazan. So the one is student? Really?
Well, not really student, but who's writing the most of the articles? So who writes the A to Z for the
Oh, the A to Z, yeah? Okay.
But I would like to address a conflict here because here where we work, the first author gets the most point,
Yes.
while the corresponding author get the last point.
Yeah.
In the other hand, the corresponding authors are the ones who give ideas, who for example, our professors or postdocs or so on. So the one who contribute also a great amount of time and idea, but they are corresponding authors and they get less points. So it's kind of conflicting.
So it's not balance, yeah, between contributions and also credits. Okay.
So the conflict should not come from our discussion.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, but it will happen. Yeah, so be ready. Yeah.
And what kind of research items that we need at the beginning. So from that we can allocate the item, the pricing or the budget for each item or activities. And then we also have the PIC or the one who is responsible to do these clusters of activities, this cluster of activities. So the budgeting will be defined based on the activities. So for example, we have 4 researchers here. So maybe Dr. Maya has 6 activities and the items and the budgets for these 6 activities may be certain amount, and then we will allocate the budget based on that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so there is a formula. There's a formula. That's good. Okay, so we have a short experience how to deal with very sensitive issue. We should do the negotiation actually. You should negotiate, particularly with Pak Bayu. Ibu Diah should negotiate very well, because he's very dominant. And negotiation is about getting the best possible deal in the best possible way. And fortunately, we are the scientific community. This one is not really difficult to do. Yeah, because we are open mind, and also we have a lot of experience with our network over there, so we can do this. And the result of negotiation is just win-lose, win-win, and the benefits of win-win, like Pak Wahyudi mentioned. And then theoretically, then if we try to deal with the conflict, first we should start to talk. The case is just to stimulate you to talk, to discuss about sensitive things. And also Alan, culturally, we don't like to talk about sensitive things, about budget, also about the first author. Oh, later on, we will discuss it later on. Maybe after, not now. This is just to avoid the situation. And the second, we should do the active listening. Active listening. In this group, I think Ibu Ita and Pak Rusdi is really active to give opinion. Ibu Titi and Bapak is really keen to listen. And this is the good step to review others' opinion about their perspectives. And the third step, we should name the issues. We identify the topics as we have done, and we, of course, we use a natural language, as you mentioned. Oh, we should pick up the good journal, index, Scopus index, and also high impact factors and everything. This is a natural language. So we didn't mention nature, but oh, high impact factor, highly recognized and everything, and finally nature. Yeah. What about Ibu? Nature is okay? Nature is very okay. Yeah. Buita? Yeah, be more realistic. Yeah. Oh, human reproduction update. Okay. 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 And who is going to be the first author?
We already answered that. That's enough.
That's enough. Okay. And the next step is to build understanding. Yeah. So discuss one issue at a time. So don't discuss budget and then the first author and also the journal. It will consume your energy. And then we should clarify assumption, as you mentioned. Oh, we don't expect too much. So we should be very realistic. Yeah? And then we should also explore interest and feelings. Like Bapak is very pendiam, Bapak. Yeah? So Pak Rusdi should explore his opinion. You did, yes, good. That's why I moved you from there to this place. And then we should agree on solution, finally. And this is not an easy step. And we plan next step. Because a lot of issues to resolve. And which one is the best? What do you think? Yeah, there is no best way to handle conflict, because as a member of scientific society we learn that more heads is better, more opinions, if you are using the collaborating style, and then kill your enemies with kindness. What about that? And split the difference or live well enough alone. Don't talk about sensitive things. And might makes right. This is competing. So it depends on your style. And naturally, it will come out when we discuss about sensitive things like that. Of course, this is just simulation. Everybody is just trying to be nice, but at the end, we will face the reality. That is okay, because we have this exercise before. And this is the last slide. I think you are waiting for slide terima kasih, because that's the... We use no but in the discussion. I heard a lot of some nice word, no but, and is more important to accommodate others' perspective or opinion. Don't blame. You submit to nature and reject it, and Ibu Ita said, you, right? This is because of you. You blame on him, and he will blame on me. And then we should look for plan B. We should look for plan B. When the A plan doesn't work, so we have to create another story. And contribution, your contribution should be mapped rather than silent. Silent. Don't be really, how do you call it, avoid to speak out. This is very important. Because silence, maybe we just postpone the conflict. But afterwards we will face it. Okay, and this is the conclusion. Different conflict management styles may be used when faced with different situations, like Pak Asmedi said, like Pak Rusdi and Pak Bayu. If it is a resident, of course, we try to avoid everything. But if we are the boss, but then we can see the evolution, like Alan mentioned. And we should know ourselves. We should identify ourselves and how we apply some styles in conflict management, and scenario based. This is also very important. Okay, any final remarks from this group? Okay, your smile speaks more. Okay, and from this group? You have enough. Don't try again. Okay. Don't. Oh yes, Pak Alan, please.
I just wanted to reflect on these conclusion points here, because One of the things which has come out of this morning's discussion, which I think, Andreas, is the cultural issue, is the predominance of avoiding and not approaching a conflict physiologically, mentally, and every other way. And if you let it go on for too long, then you will become debilitated, as we put it, that it is, you won't be able to do very much at all because you'll be so negative in your own outlook. So I would encourage you to move away from the avoidance, accommodating squares on the diagram, and try every so often, just try and be a little more competitive, try and be a little more assertive, try and be more collaborative, because your inner health will benefit from that, particularly as you go higher up in your career. You'll find yourselves in conflict situations where you have to be assertive because somebody else that you're arguing with or having a conflict with is just not being realistic about the circumstances and so on. So you have to be assertive, more assertive into those circumstances. You have to have courage, and you only develop the ability to have courage and confidence by trying it at a lower level in your career, just trying it every so often to break out of those accommodating atmospheres that you might find yourself in. So for your own health and well-being, try and be assertive at the appropriate time, in the appropriate style, etc. Otherwise you'll end up not getting very far at all, and you'll be very mentally reduced as a person and not capable of making a difference. So strength to your arm and go for it.
Yes. Okay, and I believe that our work will stimulate conflict. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. That's why Pak Yodi put this session, because he knows this is. He has experience about conflict, creating conflict. Okay, we should end up here, and we give a big applause for all of us. Thank you very much, Pak Yodi.